This is a good video. Yeah, you like this one. I'm revved up with caffeine and macadamia nuts. Um, Several people wanted me to talk about this lens recently, even though I reviewed it a couple of times. And I thought that I would go over this lens again since a knuckle-dragging idiot on Diaper Review thought that I gave contradictory information about this lens. And this is where I'm going to spank him in the ass, okay? Proverbially speaking, okay? This is the ZEISS planar 100mm f2 macro lens, okay? That is a manual focus lens. It's a chipped lens, okay? So, you can use it in aperture priority, shutter priority. Now, let's first point out why this person's an idiot, okay? But this is also a review of this lens. Now, I have, over 2 or 3 different videos, said that this lens is both horrible and at the same time awesome. Now, I've also said 1,000 times in over 1,000 videos, in like 3,200 some videos that I have, that all lens design is a trade-off. That's right, there's no perfect lens, right? Right? Kind of like sumo wrestlers are good for knocking a lot of people down, but they're no good for like sprinting, right? And like a skinny little dude with big leg muscles is good for sprinting, but he's not good for other things, right? Right? So, let me quote this buffoon, and then I'm going to spank him. And then he's going to see. See, this person easily could have emailed me or left me a comment. And it's like, you know, I've heard you say contradictory things about this lens over a couple different videos. And if he'd asked me the question, I would have given him the damn answer. But no. This is why Diaper Review is the worst site on the internet for photographic information. Everybody gets over there and they engage in, it reminds me of that South Park episode where everybody's mouth is hooked to someone else's butt. Remember that South Park episode? You know, one person is physically, you know. So, anyway, he says, in one video, he says this ZEISS 100mm macro lens is very good, and comments that, not very good, and comments that the ZEISS doesn't make a very good macro lens. That's true. Let me explain that. But then he says, in another video, he says the exact opposite. No, I don't. Rambling about the ZEISS awesome glass, saying that it is absolutely exquisite. That is exactly what I said. Let me explain that. And blows every other 100mm lens out of the water. I did say that, and let me explain that one too. So, he calls the ZEISS 100mm. He actually makes the mistake of stupidly saying 100 megapixel, but 100mm is what he meant. Apparently he doesn't know the difference between a megapixel and a millimeter. The king of micro contrast and saturation. Well, let me explain that to you. Let me use, for stupid people, this lens is both incredibly awesome, okay, and at the same time, a shitty lens. How can it be both? Oh my god! How can it be shitty and awesome at the same time? Well, let me explain that one. It is really very easy if you have intelligence, which most people don't, especially this person. Let me explain it. This lens is insanely expensive. Oh my god! And it is a manual focus lens. Now let me show you something else too on this lens. Look really close. Look, look. Are you looking? Look, look. Watch the focus throw. You know what focus throw? That's from infinity to closest focus. Here's focus throw on this lens. Oh my god, this is taking forever. Oh my god, what a focus throw. Oh my god, it just keeps going. There we go. Look at that. This is basically a tripod-only lens unless you are a masochist. Look at that focus throw. It is a chipped lens, however. So, this lens will spank you if A, you don't like manual focus, and B, you're thinking about using this lens like to capture bees that are like buzzing around out on the flowers. Like, hold on a second, let me get that bee into focus. Oh, there's another bee. Horrible lens. Horrible lens. That aspect of this lens, kind of like a pretty girl, is like, man, that girl is hot. It's like, yeah, she's also got diseases. Yeah, but she's so hot. Yeah, but she's got diseases. You would never want to, you know, like, but she's so hot. Yeah, but she's got yeah, there's some bad stuff going on there. That's what this lens is. This is like a pretty hot girl with diseases. See, that also makes it clear for stupid people like this. Let me explain the rest of this lens. As far as micro contrast, this lens is off the hook incredible. This is really a tripod lens for macro. You can go out shooting like bees or little creatures or things moving for macro. Not only do you not have autofocus with this lens, which I love manual focus lenses, the focus throw is incredibly long. This lens is insanely expensive. Oh my god, this lens is expensive. Oh my god. That's another downside. Get a 100mm Takina 2.8. Takina 100mm. I've had like tens of thousands of people buy that lens off my recommendation. Everybody goes, oh my god, I love this lens. It's cheap and it's awesome. It's got autofocus. Yeah, there you go. $400, $1,200. $400, $1,200. Autofocus, manual focus. Autofocus. There we go. Let me get back to this little thing here. Okay. Yeah, this lens is at the same time awesome and a piece of crap. Awesome and a piece of crap. I have said this lens is absolutely exquisite. It is. If you know how to use it, you're really good with manual focus, and you're using this as a tripod macro lens. Product photography, this is the lens for macro. This is it. This is it. Nothing's moving on the table. I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to put it on the tripod, and I'm going to dial it in. Absolutely exquisite. It does blow every other 100mm lens out of the water. I own it for a reason. That is not a contradiction, my little boy. No, 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 it's not. So, I have said this lens is not very good. Because I would not recommend this to most people. You see, I'm smart. Because if I recommended this lens to people, like, man, you didn't tell me this lens is manual focus. You didn't tell me the focus throw is incredible. You didn't tell me if I went outside, it's like I couldn't focus in on bugs and stuff because, you know, they're moving and that would piss people off. I'm about making people happy. You see, I am not a person of contradiction when I say that this lens is, at the same time, both awesome and a pain in the crotch. Or not very good. I won't recommend it. It's like, do you recommend this lens? Like, well, what are your skill levels? What are you going to be using? I'm going to use it for product photography. I want the best lens for tripod use, indoor product photography. This is it. This is it. This is it right here. This is it. Someone says, I want a macro lens. I don't like manual focus lenses, and I want to shoot bugs outdoors. This lens sucks. You don't want this lens. But you said this lens is awesome. It is. It's awesome for other things. You see, boys and girls, that's how this lens is both awesome and sucks at the same time, and that's why this person is a fool. A dummy. A dummy. A dummy. Or my favorite term, mental midget. Nailed it. Nailed it! Nailed it! Right there, I nailed it to the wall. Now everything is clarified, isn't it? Yeah, girlfriend, it's clarified. Now you get it. Nailed it. Repeat after me. Nailed it! Right.